the US Air Force could be getting 32 more combat-ready F-22 Raptors in the not-too-distant future. According to the head of Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, the firm is currently in talks with the US Air Force to heavily upgrade the oldest 32 Raptors, known as Block 20 jets, that have long been reserved for training and development flights. And credit where it's due, I learned about this story from the Warzone's coverage of the Airspace and Cyber Conference going on this week. As the first Raptors built after production began back in 1997, these jets didn't come with the full suite of combat systems that would be necessary to be considered fully operational, and were instead delivered for testing and for the Air Force to begin establishing a new offensive air warfare doctrine around the Raptors' novel stealth capabilities. You see, previous stealth jets, the F-117 Nighthawk and B-2 Spirit, used stealth to avoid being engaged by enemy aircraft or enemy air defenses, something that Raptor test pilots referred to as defensive stealth, while the Raptor employs low observability to hunt enemy aircraft down, which they described as offensive stealth. But stealth notwithstanding, the F-22's biggest weakness has long been its abbreviated production run, with just 185 jets delivered and only 150 or so equipped with the necessary systems for combat. By upgrading those Block 20 jets not only to today's Block 30 or 35 standard, but to match the new upgrades being incorporated into the Raptor fleet, it would increase America's F-22 fleet strength by more than 20%. Something that would otherwise be impossible without standing up entirely new production lines to start building new old F-22s all over again. Now, currently, about 90% of Raptor flight training is conducted in those 32 older Block 20 jets, with the final 10% completed in actual mission-capable Block 30 or 35 aircraft, and that would likely continue. But with these upgrades, pilots would be training in aircraft that were much more like the jets they'd ultimately fly into the fight, and of course, those trainer jets could also be deployed to bolster Raptor numbers when needed. However, bringing those older Raptors up to modern standards would not be easy or cheap. In the past, Lockheed Martin has claimed that it would cost roughly $3.3 billion and take about 15 years to upgrade the 32 Block 20 Raptors to Block 30 or 35 trim, which are really primarily differentiated by software and are said to offer roughly the same capabilities in the fight. Of course, the upgrades to these aircraft would then extend even further to match the capabilities being incorporated into operational Raptors today. Lockheed is already knee-deep in a massive $11+ billion upgrade program for America's operational 150 or so F-22s. These upgrades include significant changes to the jet's onboard software, including improvements to the F-119 turbofan control systems that are said to unlock more thrust when needed, while also extending the lifespan of the engines. New infrared search and track targeting capabilities are being incorporated via stealthy underwing pods, while new stealth drop tanks are being developed to increase the Raptor's range without compromising as much of its low observability. In effect, each F-22 is already getting tens of millions of dollars worth of improvements meant to ensure that the most dominant fighter on the planet today remains dominant until there are enough F-47s built to step in and replace the Raptor fleet. Now, the F-22 is currently slated to be the first fighter to receive all of the added hardware necessary to fully integrate with AI-enabled drone wingmen, and classified elements of the F-22 upgrade program are said to have been ported over directly from the F-47 and Lockheed Martin's sixth-generation fighter efforts, making the upgraded Raptor something of a bridge between fifth and sixth generations of fighters. Now, the Air Force now envisions flying Raptors well into the 2040s, and if money were no object, it pretty much goes without saying that they would jump at the chance to increase their fleet numbers. But the Air Force's budget is already stretched very thin between the way over budget LGM-35 Sentinel ICBM program, funding production of new stealth bombers in the B-21 Raider, continued development and initial production of a new stealth fighter in the F-47, the ongoing Block 4 upgrade for the F-35, and of course the F-22s upgrade, along with a bunch of other efforts. So while bringing those 32 Raptors combat capabilities in line with their sister jets does genuinely seem like a very good idea, it doesn't really matter how good an idea is if you can't pay for it. So we'll see if the Air Force thinks it can further tighten its belt to make these test and training Raptors reach their full combat potential. But I, for one, am rooting for it. Hey guys, me again with one quick saved round. We are now less than 4,000 subscribers away from reaching our goal of crossing 500,000 subs by the end of this month, and I really appreciate your help. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking that subscribe button down below. It would mean a ton to me and my team. But either way, thanks for watching.